Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly review of NAS100 and the trades that I took. And I'm just going to go over the moves, the hits and the misses, where there are opportunities for learning, and how we can actually make our trades better. Before we begin, we'll just pray as usual. So God, thank you again for another week of trading. It was good for some, it was bad for others, and it was in between for some of us. Thank you again for this opportunity that we have to learn and grow. And we ask that you just bless everyone watching this video. Thank you, we pray. Amen. All right. So I'm going to get right into it, and I'll share my screen. Now, I will tell you this much. This week, was one of those weeks where we're doing so well. I was doing so well until Friday. And I will show you the mistake that I made. And hopefully it will be a teaching and a learning moment for everyone, including myself, so that we can avoid this particular pitfall in the future. All right. Now, I will say nothing is wrong with the strategy. It was purely human error, and you will see where I actually made the mistake as I go into the video. So what I'm going to do is this is the exact sheet that I traded on last week. So I'm just going to replay exactly what happened as it transpired last week. And, so we can go from there. All right. Remember, if you do like this video and you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. And, so that we can grow together as a community. All right, so let me just do the replay button, and we're going to go to the beginning of the week. Now, last week, what we're looking for as the market began was we're looking at what is happening in the market. So started with my monthly time frame, and while on my monthly time frame, I noticed that the market has been coming from a high. It went down, it found support, it formed a higher low, came back up, formed resistance. It made a lower high. So now it's working itself down to create that low. All right. So we know this market currently is in a downtrend. All right. However, as we go to the smaller time frames, like we went to the week, we saw here that the week actually made a high, which is actually a lower high, which means it's going down towards making that low. Okay. We came to the daily, and we saw that it actually was coming from a lower low. It went up. It was in the process of doing a lower high. And also we bear in mind that the weekly will try to work itself up to make that high. However, the bigger time frame is the one that actually calls the shots. All right. Now, I'll tell you right off the back, one of the mistakes that I made, and I will admit it, was that although I saw that the bigger time frame was working itself down to make that low, what I got caught up in was the fact that first of all, the weekly was coming from that higher low, okay? And so I said that the weekly is going to go up to make that lower high, okay? When you look at the day, you see also that the day is coming from that lower low. So you're expecting it to go up to create that high. Now, that was one of the mistakes that I made. Yes, the market is going to retrace, but it's going to retrace to continue with the current trend that it's in. All right. Now, I'll show you the trades that I took and the justifications for the trade. Like I said, they were right all the way up until Thursday, until I missed a key point, which, of course, will not be happening again. All right. Now we go on to the 4 hour and see that the 4 hour was in fact coming from a low. It actually did make a high on Friday. However, we knew that the move was not finished, and I'll show you why. I'll show you the pointers that we used to actually arrive at that decision. Okay. And of course, on the 1 hour, it was at a overbought high. But again, we knew that the move was not over. So one of the things that we did was, the first thing that we did was, I went on my 4-hour chart. Excuse me. And my last extreme move, direct move, was from the high to the low. So basically, I'm tracking for my retracements. All right. This is another thing which I should have paid more attention to. The fact that it was a direct move towards the low side. It was, in fact, a lower high in relation to the last higher high right there. So I should have known, and I should have paid more attention to that. So that was my error. However, I was not wrong in going for the buys. Where I made the blunder was where I ignored the signal that was given that showed me that it was time to sell. And I'll show you exactly what I did. All right, so the first thing I did, I drew my fibs from my highest point to my lowest point. I'm going to be tracking my retracement. Well, before I do that, one of the ways in which I knew where the price was expected to go was based on the fact that this was my break line right here. How do I know this was my break line? Once the price broke this point right here, okay, this is where the word new low came on, okay? All right, so this was the break line. Price came down, stopped right here, found support, and then it has been making higher lows ever since, okay? Excuse me. So this was my break line. So I know that price has to come back and at least test this break line before it actually started going down again. So I drew my break line right here. Okay. So I'm expecting price to come at least to here before it starts thinking of selling again. All right. Now to confirm this, what I do is I use my fibs. So I go from my highest point all the way down to my lowest point. Draw it across. Okay. And I'm here. Now you see my break line actually falls just above the 61% and actually below the 78.6%, all right, which is perfectly in line with the retracement levels that I'm accustomed to seeing on the NASDAQ 100. So I know with confidence that this price is actually going to come within this price point. So this is actually where my sell zone is going to be, right between these 2 points right here. All right. Now, another mistake that I made was that I did not draw my sell zone. So it would be a visual indicator for me to know exactly where I'm expecting price to go. So I should have done this right here and put a rectangular box. Sorry, wrong point. 1 second. Let me just undo this. So my rectangular box should have been here. It should have been my sell zone for the week. So once price came within this zone, I know that I'm starting to look for sells. All right. Now, another thing as it relates to the break line, the reason why I have a break line is that, and I know that price will come back, is that the market does not like to leave open spaces. So what that means is you can't have this open door and the market continues to go down to sell. It has to close that door before it goes. And the example that I gave was if you're leaving your house, okay, you're not going to leave your doors open while you're gone. You're going to make sure that they're locked before you actually proceed on your journey. All right, so that's the same thing. Before the market proceeds, it needs to come back and close its doors. All right, so this should have been my sell zone. And let me just put that right in there. And I have a sell zone. Okay. And what I'm looking for here is an H4 high. Okay. I know that's going to be my sell zone, right? Okay. All right. So we know a couple of things. Price is going to come back at least to this line. We're between the 61 and 78%. Okay, price likes to retrace to the 78% level before actually continuing down. All right, so we know that. All right, so let's look at what happened in the market. We go on our 1 hour and we see here that the price is actually at an overbought high at the end of the week. Now remember, price cannot buy from a high. It has to retrace to come to some sort of low so that it can actually proceed to going on to your high point to complete that buy. So the market opened, and this is what happened. Okay, see that big drop? You won't see it because it's a gap right there. That's how the market opened. But I'm not looking to go into this market until I get some sort of a low, because the market at this point in time is interested in making higher lows, higher highs. All right. So it's coming from a lower low. This was from 8:30 the following Friday, when you had that big what you call it there, NFP report day and everything like that. All right. So I'm looking for that higher low to get in. The price did that. Came down, gave my first signal of a higher low. Now, am I interested in going into this trade right now? Absolutely not. The reason for that is if I use a 1 hour fibs from my lowest point right here to my highest point, sorry, the fibs, my lowest point right here to my highest point, I will see that the price is currently at in the region of my 38% line. Okay. Now, price does one of two things at 38%. It either bounces off, goes back in the direction it's coming from with a vengeance, or it breaks through and continues on its downward trend until it gets to another retracement zone. All right. So I'm watching this right now. The other thing that I looked at was the fact that my 30-minute was also at a higher low. All right. Now, very rarely you'll find the 30-minute and the 1 hour staying at the same level. You usually find what is known as a segmented low on your smaller time frame, in this case, the 30-minute, and you will continue to see that higher low being played out on your bigger time frame, in this case, the 1 hour. So I'm not interested right now in going into this trade. All right. Especially because it's at the 38 level, unless I get additional confirmation. So let's look at how it played out. So price did that. It came up, it gave you a lower high. What this tells me right now is that because I have that lower high point on my half hour, I am now going to be getting a segmented low, because remember, the price moves from a high and continues to a low. Whether it is direct or segmented, you will see that low. Okay. So I check again on my 1 hour. Price is still at the higher low, which is where I want it to be to continue on that trend, higher low, higher high. However, I'm looking for that entry. So on the half hour, you'll see price came down. Okay, here's the first sign of my low. Here's the first sign of my low. So I'm looking to actually get into this trade, but I don't want to go in too early. All right. So what I want to do is I want to set a line, and let's make this like a 1. Okay. And I'm waiting for price to come back and, retest or break this line before I go into the trade. Okay. So this is where my entry will be. All right. So now I'm waiting and watching back on my 1 hour, because again, remember, the trade is now higher lows, higher highs until I get to my zone right here. All right. So now that my entry is set and I'm waiting, now I'm just waiting for price to come to pick this price up so I can continue going towards the direction of my trade. And I'm basically done with these fibs because I saw what I want already. And although it's at the 38%, remember I said price can bounce from the 38%, continue in the direction of the current trend, or it can break through 38% and continue down. So let's look at what price did. So it did that, it came back down, it shot up. So it's respecting the 38% so far. Then it went up, a little bit more, shot down some more. It's bouncing around, consolidating on my 38% line. All right, it's right there. It actually just picked up my order right there. Price came, it pushed through, and then it shot right back up. So it's really respecting that 38%. And you can see price just took off. Once it had that final retest, price took off. So now I'm waiting for price to go back in the direction that I'm waiting on, which is to make that higher high. So I can take this fibs off because I'm done with that. Okay. So price did that. It came back down, did a retest, came back down, tested the line again. And from there on, it just kept going. See, now I finally broke my higher high. Okay. Now, am I looking to come out of this trade? Absolutely not. Number of things have to be in place. This is my break line right here. This is my sell zone. All right. And this is my 78%. None of those things have been achieved yet. So now I'm not looking to come out of that trade. So price did that. And it consolidated and it pushed up and it did a whole bunch of stuff. And then now it came back down, it made another higher low. Okay, which is good because now I have a complete trend move. Lower low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So I'm expecting another higher high, which I got. Now price broke my line that I set. It's now in my zone, but it still has not gotten to my 78% line. Okay, so let's look at what price did. Continue pushing. Now it came, it did that big drop, came back to my original break line, left a wick. Price came, made another higher low. It pushed up, it made a higher high. Okay. So remember, you're making higher lows, higher highs. So the key is because it's making higher lows, higher highs, you want to exit on your higher highs, wait for a higher low to get back in, and then it goes back up to that higher high, exit, come back out, make that higher low, same thing. It goes all the way back up. All right. So basically, this is what happened. So price came back. Now it made this new low. Now this is where I started making that mistake. Okay. The fact that it's in this zone right here, there is no reason why I should still be looking for buys as my main trend move. Okay. We know the buy is not finished because right here, this low still broke a higher low. So we know it's still making higher lows. Okay. Do a check on your 4-hour and you will see the price is in fact at a high. So I should not be looking for buy moves from this point because the price is currently at a high point. All right. So we'll go back down to the 1 hour. So the price came back, made that higher low. Okay, took another buy. All right, so you're going up to your higher highs again. Look at what price did. So it came, it pushed up. It did make a high right there. All right, look at what price did again. It kept pushing up until now it's actually at my 78% at an overbought high position. Okay, look at what happened. It came down at some point in time. It made a higher low. And it made another higher high. Now, this is where I messed up. This is Thursday. All right. This is Thursday. So in my mind, I'm still thinking buys. and I did not check my bigger time frame. Okay, I did not pay close attention to it, because had I done that, I would have seen that the price was actually at a high. It was in my zone. It got to my target area that I so precisely set based on my fibs, came right back to my 78%. I missed it. And that was all my fault. Strategy works, but it was all my fault. All right. Going back down. But the important thing is that even when you mess up, you still have time to redeem yourself. Now, of course, me again, I did not take the redemption that was given to me. All right. So I did not pay attention. That was also all my fault last week. All right. So this is where right here, where price got to. I should have been taking a sell right here, and I didn't. But look at how I got an opportunity to still come out of this trade ahead and still be able to win this last trade of the week. And I didn't, just because I did not pay attention. So watch this. Price is here. Okay. I'm still in my mind thinking buys. All right. So the price did that, came, and it dropped, and it made that low. Now in my mind, I'm still thinking higher low. All right. Okay, fine. So the price did that. And I got in on this trade here. Okay, look at what happened. So I'm still thinking buy. I still got a good entry for the buy. Okay, price did this. I'm in profit the whole night. It did not register a high. Okay, I'm still thinking it has to go up to register, to break this point to make a higher high. That's in my mind. Okay, all night. In the morning, price came, it did this, broke below where it was at some point in time before it actually went up again. Now, at this point, it created a lower high. This should be enough to tell me that it's time for me to get out of the trade. As a matter of fact, those of you who have been following the chat saw that I actually put in the chat where I said, if price comes back up to make a lower high, I'm going to exit out of the trade. And I didn't. So here I would have been in very good profit. Even from the night before, I would have been in very good profit. Could have come out of that trade, but I didn't take it. The other thing that I missed was the fact that price was coming from the most extreme of points that I could ever want, which was a higher high. It came, it broke, it made a low. Direct move to the lower side. Now it came up to make a lower high. To complete this trend move, it needs to come down and make a lower low. I missed this point again. So there's so many things that I missed on that one trade on Friday, right? That I could have saved myself. But you know what? I'm actually thankful that I did miss those points. Why? Because at least now it tells me what I did wrong, and now I know to pay more attention for the next time. And I really hope that this is actually helping those of you who are watching the video so that you don't make the same mistakes that I actually made. So I could have gotten out here in good profit because my entry was here, price is here. I could have gotten out in very good profit. Okay. Now, look at what price did. Boom. All right. So now I'm in the hole. You went from being in good profit to now you're in the hole. Okay, and it just got worse from there. So eventually I closed the trade manually because I realized at this point what my mistake was, what I should have done, and I didn't do. All right. And then the price did that, came down, and it basically did all of that and kind of consolidated around the 38% line on Friday. All right. So that was my mistake of the week. Price actually did come to my sell zone, stayed in there for a while before it actually came and broke back out of my sell zone to actually now go in a full sell trend for the upcoming week. So again, we had it right. We said where the price was going to go. It actually did go there. But again, human error. I did not take my exit when I was given an olive branch, even although I made a mistake by not taking the sell from here, I took a buy instead. I still had good time to get out of that trade and I didn't take it. All right. So I really hope that this video actually shed some light on what happened last week. You saw the moves, you saw what we took, you saw the mistake that we made, and it will also help you to avoid those mistakes again for the upcoming week. So thanks for watching again. Stay tuned because I will be posting my analysis video for the upcoming week, and I hope that will actually be helpful to you guys. So thank you again for watching. And thank you, God, again, for giving us this insight and for giving us this opportunity to trade and just to be able to share ideas. We ask that you'll help us to have a much better week coming up and that we'll be able to learn something that will make our trading experience better. Thank you again. We love you. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.